a company like I worked at, Daimler, with $100 billion, we could spend thousands of people and hundreds of hours on strategy. But if you've only got 10 people and are doing $1 million in business trying to get to 4 million, you can't afford to do what the large companies do.
All right, here we are again on $4 million strategies. Super excited here today to welcome Paul Menig, CEO of Business Accelerants, and he's going to tell us his best tips for designing your strategic vision. Paul, let's hear it.
I like to make sure that when you start a strategic vision that you look at everything that's happening in the world. You're familiar with Michael Porter's 5 forces, which he changed to 6 forces, but he didn't really cover everything that needs to be done in terms of looking at the sales and distribution channels in a company, the suppliers and to multiple levels where we've had supply chain problems. He didn't really account for market constraints. He didn't account for the government regulations, which are driving a lot of investment in everything. He did deal with competition and the power of that. He dealt with the supplier power. He also didn't account for technology, which is driving so much that goes on with what's going on. So a company like I worked at, Daimler, with $100 billion, we could spend thousands of people and hundreds of hours on strategy. But if you've only got 10 people and are doing $1 million in business trying to get to 4 million, you can't afford to do what the large companies do. When I do Michael Porter's 5 forces, this is what it looks like for me. The world in the background, like interest rates, what are they going to do? That's driving everybody's strategy right now. Technology, orders, the government investments. So that's my first step to getting everybody to understand everything that's going on in the world and where they fit and where their niche is going to be. Now, I take your 40 strategies, and I think we could do a nearly one-to-one kind of match in some areas, but I think from what I've seen studying your 40 strategies, there's a couple of areas that I cover that you might not cover. And then you and I are both part of dealing with profits and cash flow and trying to make sure that that's stable and reliable. Then we're looking at how do you have a growth strategy? And then we're looking at the value of the company. I just talked with a pest control company earlier this week where dad has run the business, mom gets paid but doesn't work in the business, 2 brothers are in it, the daughter's coming in. Okay, now what's going to happen with the business? Does she want to take it over? She's looked at the books, and of course, dad hasn't used anything for financials thus far. And so she's now trying to do it. She's got a quality set of financials for last year, but not for 2 or 3 years. So she's going to have trouble approaching a bank. But she's got to go through the same sorts of things in order to do it. And then one other thing is the business model canvas. I'm sure you're familiar with that. As part of my SCORE mentoring, we push that. And so I was talking with a healthcare provider for autistic and people with dementia and other problems, and he wants to scale his business from roughly $500,000 in revenue today to greater than $1 million. He had seen somebody had told him about the business model canvas, but not explained it so that he understood what to put into each area to be able to talk about it. And I encouraged him to take a draft, come back and talk to me, talk with his leaders if he wants to look at a draft of that so that he gets the alignment of everybody in that strategic plan.
That's perfect. Paul, thank you for bringing us that 4 minutes of wisdom and tactics and strategy, specifically on strategic vision on the $4 million strategy. Thank you so much today, Paul, for sharing your wisdom.
Great to be here.